Webpreneur Academy. I welcome you all to the third annual Webpreneur Academy Awards. It is my extreme honor to introduce to you the mastermind of the Webpreneur Academy, Mr. Amir Ansoor. He has been an internet entrepreneur since the year 1999. Since then, he has been involved in several online ventures with giant corporations as his clients, Amazon, Google, Xbox, to mention a few. Mr. Ansoor developed Webpreneur Academy, his mission being to educate individuals and schools. He established a platform for them to be able to use the internet in order to create as well as improve their businesses. He provided them with the opportunity to enter the global internet economy. Mr. Ansoor has had immense exposure as well and has turned his experiences into impact. He lives to bring a change, and today let us all celebrate the cause. I present to you Mr. Amir Ansoor.
Thank you. Firstly, let me thank you all for attending. I know it's a Wednesday evening, and for you to take your time out from your day, really we're happy that you could make it. I'm going to explain a little bit about why we're doing this event, why these awards, and what we can do to really help education. There's quite a few of entrepreneurs, not even entrepreneurs, but people that live across the world that are keen to do something to help our own country get to that next level. And especially as internet entrepreneurs, you can see that there's so much that things can be so much better in the way that we run things, the education sector, the economy, and that people can be helped. And I went into the online education sector to primarily bring that knowledge to a lot more people because it is spread faster. And when I first moved here, I had no idea what to expect. When you move to Pakistan, you will have 98%, probably 98.7% tell you you're crazy, and that many people have done it before, and they all go back because it's just a stupid move to take. And what I found was people won't agree with you, and you won't find any help. One student came in and took out his wallet and paid for my online course. And I was thinking, the amount of times I had to go to him, collect the cash, all these things that are not really sorted yet in our online economy. This is going to be a tough journey. And so I was thinking, how do I convince people in education, which is not a certificate? People pay for an A-level, they'll pay for something that they already, because our training is paying for knowledge certificates, that I want to learn for the sake of learning, to start ideas for the sake of starting ideas. And so I was thinking for a few months, what's going to happen? How am I going to grow this business? Yes, I can go and market it in the US or UK, where people are much more ready now to pay for online education. But what do I do here? And as luck would have it, a few months later, I run into I need people that are thinking ahead to help me now, because I've become the Secretary of Education in Pakistan. And see if you can come out and help me and see what we have in KP, because I've got 8,500 schools that we need to go help. This is a dream job, right? Before this, I've been helping, I've been an internet entrepreneur, but then I wanted to get into the education sector. I've been helping government of Dubai and government of Abu Dhabi in their education reforms, all the public schools. Their money is in it, right? So, you know, they want to improve all the their money is in the nation, right? So, you know, they want to improve all the Dubai. It's 100,000 Emiratis, 900,000. They do have fun. They invest in people like myself. They bring in from all around the world, pay them good cash to help them improve. Here in Pakistan, especially in places like Peshawar, how do we attract talent to come? Because if you see what you see in the media, you know, people get scared of coming into the region. How do we attract not only talent to come, then how do you, but if we have ideas, how do we make them happen? Because it's easy for me to come here and say, oh, we should do this online and everything, but schools don't have electricity, 40% of them don't. Internet is not connected. There's, you know, washrooms and all the basic things, facilities are missing in many of these schools. So how do we help bring that change happen, right? And what I started realizing is that it's not just one person. It's not just one person. It's not just the minister of education. It's not just a politician that you see on TV. But it's all these change agents, many of which you see in the audience right now, that make that change happen. They don't necessarily get the airtime to make that change happen that you see on TV, but they're working day in, day out to bring the change. Guys like Salisa, who's taking care of data, the EMI system. To Faisal database, there are two. Omar Islam, who's representing Faisal Mushtaq in a root system, bringing in private schools. Rizvi, who's bringing in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. That's what he's brought in to Karachi, to Islamabad, part of helping it establish here. Dr. Qureshi, bringing that in. The incubation centers for entrepreneurship. These guys, CapNext, bringing in biometrics data. All this technology that you see that might have the government logo, but there's different suppliers wearing different heads. People like the U.S. Embassy supporting us through, well, for instance, the USAID program, which is $160 million that's going into the economy, into Pakistan over the next 5 years, right? So all these agents that are coming in, but a lot of these agents need airtime for someone to listen, to have their ideas heard, to not be frustrated that they keep pushing their ideas and no one's listening. Because guys like PTCL can do big level relationships, but there's also small entrepreneurs that want to be heard for their ideas to be seen by the world. And I know this is a pain point because I'm also an entrepreneur that was looking for PR for many years for my own ventures. Yeah? And what I didn't realize is that getting press and people to talk about you was actually a big job in itself. You see, there's a level that you reach, automatically everyone starts writing about it. A level that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. So if I just sent out one email saying Steve Jobs or Bill Gates is coming, everyone would follow whatever his launch is, etc. But for most of us, or many of us, we're not at that level yet. And one of the disadvantages we have in Pakistan until about a decade ago wasn't a big rise in media. In the last decade, now hundreds of news channels have opened up and are able to help us spread ideas.
the internet has come. Now, although less than 10% of people in Pakistan are connected online, 35% of the world is connected online. And 80 to 85% of the world, of the emerged and developed world, is connected online. And the great thing is that we can start using that to our advantage, to start using the internet and technology to help us bring fast change faster than at any point of view. Now, in this room are principals. There's teachers from the system, head teachers, subject specialists, guys with skills, guys like Dr. Dishant, with a solution which can map out all the bombings that happened in the past and predict what's likely to happen in the future. And these are like amazing, high-tech, amazing, thought-out things that we just need to get out to the world before we take off. I know Dr. Arshad has a prior commitment, and one of the guys I want to really introduce and acknowledge. Dr. Arshad, I met from a phone call because so many people have told me good things about him, but I just Googled him. I'm a Webpreneur, just interested in working in technology. Found him and invited me in, and he's like, let's do project. First crazy idea I pitched to him was a reality TV show. He's fine, I'll give me 20 interns to build that show. And basically, one of the change happen, the guys that will make change happen in this society, guys that will connect you to entrepreneurs, bright students, and all this stuff. I'm going to let you just say a few words before you go to your engagement.
One thing which many people don't know, that this school development, who know that, and from there, in about 6 years of time, it spread into 8 different buildings in Chaklala Scheme 3, and then we got this campus, and we moved over here. And in this particular school, we have over 100 faculty members, out of which 56 are PhD. This kind of number you don't find in one department, even at the international level. So that is quite unique about us. We work with Silicon Valley companies. We work with Stanford University. They have a Stanford Linear Accelerator Center. We work with Caltech, University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And then in Europe, we work with KTH in Sweden, some of the UK universities, South Korea, etc. So once Amir met me, I found a great spark in him. And then we came up with the idea of reality show. And the episodes which you saw in the beginning have all been produced by our students and under the guidance of Amir Ansar. And the kind of efforts which he has been putting in are enormous. He is extremely creative and imaginative. So, and I must say he is very passionate about whatsoever he undertakes. He has been taking these students around, I would say, all over KPK, and then because even looking at this 8 minutes video is takes quite a lot of effort to produce. So that way, I must appreciate Amir Anzar. And this event which you are taking place, he came to me. So, and we want to have at your place. I am used to organizing functions in a much more planned and amazed. Now I am amazed to see manner. I can hardly imagine that how he is going to collect. He said there will be around 200 people, and I said, okay, you can try, but I doubt that there will be. But now I am amazed. So, I was a lot of efforts which has gone in. So all the team working under guidance of Amir deserve. I have to attend another dinner. We have a delegation. They are visiting from different countries. So I'll request excuse for that and hand over to Amir. For further.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so we're right now, to give you an idea of technology and where it's going. Right now, we're being streamed to Canada, US, and UK. Like 20,000 people watching us on live streaming. Where is it? From that camera? Yeah, thank you, Arslan. From which organization? TVapex. But basically, this is a way for us to reach more people. Now, this, as much as I love my favorite person, me, it's not really about myself, this event. What I found is I have a privileged position in life, which means that I get to connect to a lot of people. And I was connected to the secretary. So, and I saw that he's actually someone that wanted to make a lot of these things and projects happen. And I'm connected to a lot of the donor organizations. And I'm connected to a lot of people in media. And there's a lot of super senior guys that I could help bring together. And then the idea came, let's do an award ceremony so that we can start appreciating these guys and also give them some credibility, and then also help make these projects happen. Because we are, as they say, in an education emergency, and we have to put it on ourselves, right? A lot of these guys, like Sajid Baloch, who's taking care of the basic education system, is over 500,000 students, 3.9 million students. This is huge numbers. And sometimes if you can hit a kingpin, you can bring a lot of change, right? So if we look at kingpins in society, we can make a lot of change happen. Rather than going at the bottom, in bowling, we hit kingpin. This is the first time we're really running these awards here in Pakistan. And what I wanted to show was how awards is due at an individual school, district, national, and then international level too. So because what will happen is we can do these awards and people living in this city can get exposure to media. But now what we need to do is find that talent hidden in rural villages and also help them somehow get awards, right? I'll be giving out awards like the best photographer of the year, best filmmakers, best documentary makers. Guess what? All of these things you can do with a basic mobile. And this is where the future of the new economy is, right? So these kids, they'll start bringing in innovation themselves. What we as kingpins or leaders in this system need to do is set the rules of the game. If you set the right rules, people follow, and you get, those are the results you get. As the Secretary of Education or as the Director of a basic education system, if these guys say that how many provinces does Pakistan have, if they say the answer is 11, that is what every single kid will put as the answer, because that's the only way they can pass in the system. But if these guys say this is what you need to do, then that's what people will do. I've also asked people like Nadra, those ID card systems, to be here and start giving the stage out. And I'm going to be giving you guys some acknowledgement of an award because you guys have been working, bringing change, but oftentimes not
acknowledged in society. So let me start with the winner of the 2012 Webpreneur Academy Award. Is Amna here? Amna, what I want to do is, do you want to come down here? Amna has been working in the online world, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about her story, because through people like Amna, we'll get more people and women working in the education sector and see how it looks. Okay, thank you, Amna.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is very exciting. Thank you, Amir, for the acknowledgement and the award. Of course, this is so cool. But I am an example that you don't have to be a man to actually achieve something in this society. It's okay if you're a woman and you can do it. That's my message. You can do it. And I see a lot of how do I say it? I think 90% of you are parents, and if you have kids, you can actually give them the confidence. If it's okay, if it's acceptable in your society, let them work, let your daughters work. And if it's not acceptable for some reason, it's up to you. Let them work online. They can do it. They can sit in the bedroom and work with a whole lot of I started working when I was in bachelor's, and I started working with Amir actually. And before him, my first job was with a client in USA, and I got paid 50 cents per hour, which was like 50 rupees ek ghante ke, and which was good profit. It makes sense. If you can, instead of chatting with some random boy or a girl on Facebook, if you can just work and earn some money, that's good profit. I bought an Android mobile phone, was a big thing, and I bought an Android mobile phone. That's good motivation to work more. So you need confidence, and as parents, you need to give your daughters the confidence to actually work. My mother is sitting there. That's why I'm especially mentioning parents. My mother gave me the confidence, and you should give your daughter the confidence. And it's no big deal. You can work. I'm already using 2 of these. Okay. Don't know.
It's the first time we're doing live streaming as well.
Right, and if I sound shaky, it's because it's really windy outside. I came from Lahore, so yeah, I started working in my when I was doing my BA during summer holidays, and it was good profit. That was the motivation, profit money. And then I got serious about it. I made my own website. It's not that expensive, and you don't really need to be a coding genius to start one. You need 7,000 rupees approximately to start a website, and it gives you credibility. If you have a website and you tell someone, hello, you can email me at amna@amna.com, they get really impressed. Especially if you're telling that to a client. Email me at amna@amna.com. They know it first time that I have very technical, and there are sites that facilitate hitting clients. You can find clients on Webpreneur, and there's eHouse, authenticjobs.com, ePara.com, and these people, these are actually American and British people, the Koreans, and they have jobs that I was working at 50 cents. But and the client was very happy. Why? Because I was doing something for 50 cents, which he would have paid $40 per hour to someone else. So there are a lot of Goras, and I'm especially mentioning Goras because they are the guys with the money. You should target them. Pakistanis are very touchy about money. So they won't pay you a lot of money. So target the Goras, and it's ask someone else to write on your behalf. And even if you don't speak English, what really matters is that you can get the job done, and that's all that matters. You can start with I think अगर आप metric में हैं, you know enough to get a job online, and you don't have to go anywhere. I know my parents are really awesome. I already said that, but they're still like education में नहीं जाना. So I could have gotten into Punjabi University, but I went to Canadian instead because it's a all girls institution. There are actually things like that, and no matter how forward thinking your parents are, they are living in a society that's not really that much forward thinking. So there are going to be things like अच्छा बाहर काम नहीं करना, मर्दों के साथ काम नहीं करना, बाहर जाना है तो भाई के साथ जाना है, और जॉब नहीं करनी, और जॉब करोगी तो घर को टाइम कैसे दोगी? If you work online, you don't have to deal with that. That's why you should work, and you should work online. You should be a web entrepreneur, which Amir just started Webpreneur Academy about. It's how to be a web entrepreneur. If you want to be a web entrepreneur, you should contact this guy. He's pretty good at it. He will make him web entrepreneur. And thank you so much for tolerating me for so long.
Thank you. But did you mention how much have you made in your best month online?
In my best month, I have made more than 1 lakh rupees.
Okay, so 1 lakh, and how many, like working from home purely? You can
Working from home, from my bedroom, from my bed actually, and all I need is a laptop. When I started, I didn't have a laptop. I had a P4 dabba wala jo PC hota hai, and a mote wala monitor, and I made enough to buy my own Apple MacBook Air. So you need a laptop, and you need an internet connection, and you need the confidence. If you think you can do it, you will do it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amna, for coming out. Basically, one thing that we figured out in education is it's not necessarily the new era of education is not necessarily going through a curriculum and following books, but it's also reverse and airtime, which means that other girls will be sitting there going, wait a minute, she can do this from, she's just like me, and she can do this from home and earn more than most adults do. And there's nothing, you know, when kids see a Mark Zuckerberg or a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates, they see someone in Seattle and or California, and they don't connect. Here we've got people that are connecting because they can see a girl from Lahore who's able to make funds just like them. Right now I'm doing a lot of activities in English, because you'll see later on we're trying to raise funds, and so it's easier to communicate in English. But when you see her speaking in Urdu or Pashto or Chitrali, then girls and guys will automatically start reverse engineering and making success of themselves, right? I'm going to invite another guy up here who's had a great contribution to the growing the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Pakistan, and I wanted to get some of his thoughts and ideas shared by people in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So Azhar Rizvi, no. You have to hold these.
Need to have third mic. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here today, and yes, we all need airtime, we all need recognition. Even a person at the age of 50 and working with university students and colleges. But the special thing about this gathering is that this is the gathering of the architects of nation, teachers, principals, people from the Department of Education. You all are doing a great job. And whatever I am today, I am because of my teachers here in Pakistan, and when I went for my MBA to University of Houston. So all of the teachers that I have been blessed to sort of get my education really helped me in becoming what I am. So briefly about myself, I did my MCOM and started working in Pakistan at Karachi, and then started working for a startup, established a company. The deal was I'll help you in establishing a company and sponsor my education in the US. So went to US, did my MBA, came back, and like a lot of friends, I joined NCR, then AT&T, Unisys, Hughes System. But by 1999, I was going on the career track, was offered a job at Compaq Computer Asia to be the regional general manager. But prior to that, I joined another, and the reason I joined was I saw my professor of strategic management who have written various books, educated at Harvard, Joe McGlashan, writing me, gave me a smile. They've been a professor of strategic management from such a school. What we're doing on the fire engine? And I said, honestly, not. So I came back, and that is when I decided on the time to do something in Pakistan. Why entrepreneurial education ecosystem? I started my business in 1999, went from 2% to 52% in 1 year, from $10,000 to $1 million in 1 year, and the dot-com crash, and I was back to 2, with around $150,000 to pay to my team that was working for me. So I paid off. I can put the blame on dot-com crash, but honestly, it was because I never made a business plan. After working with so many multinationals, director marketing, CEO, you get a bloated ego. So I thought I knew it all. Start another journey. And this time I thought I'll only work for Pakistan, develop application in Pakistan. So did that, established a company, 200 to 600 persons in 1.5 years, automated the whole of Habib Bank in 2001. And that gave me exposure of working with the vast talent we have in the country. We hired 600 boys in 180 cities to deploy cutting-edge banking application. And what a way to do it, that we got rewards and awards from bank and the foreign software house and our software house that I was working with. Again, made some mistakes, realized that I didn't do my team building well when I was doing the second business. So in 2007, I started working with MIT Entrepreneurship Center, and I got to work with another wonderful person. He's a father figure, a guru for all of us. He's been coming to Pakistan for the past 7 years, and we launched the MIT Enterprise Forum Business Acceleration Program. This year, we'll be having a 7th annual business plan competition, and the companies that have graduated who were doing $300,000 in 2008, last year closed at $35 million, $20 million, $15 million. Did we invest anything? No. Nothing. So what did we do? That is all needed in this country. We need to change our mindset and work with our friends in the US, in other countries, the aiding agencies, to get the best of the practices implemented here. Formalize our education system as well as business system, and we have all the resources. The vast pool of talent of resources, human resources, agriculture, mineral, you name it. Go to the CIF fact book, you will find it there. On your own sort of economic data, available, go there, you'll find it there. So 2010, I started working with these students. I started with academia. And we started working with IBA. We launched a business plan competition. Now we have multiple competition. Over the period of 3.5 years, I've trained like 10,000 kids. Then I started training the professors. And now next month, I'll be conducting a course for vice chancellors of 30 universities. Amazing talent again. But from the MIT platform, we help the companies to think global. From this platform, our motto is, our slogan is, change the mindset, build product and services for people living below poverty line. Every year, 1 to 2% of our population is slipping below poverty line, thanks to inflation, because under $2, you are living below poverty line. One wrong move, dollar moves to 110 rupees. Another few hundred thousand added to that. Can we stop that? Absolutely. We'll have to focus our educational system, research for building product and services for people living below poverty line, because doing business for them is easier. The cost of capital is little. The capital requirement is not that much, and you can scale up very fast. So for the past 3.5 years, we've been doing that. And again, amazing results. The kids who have gone through this competition are winning competition like Global Innovation Thrive Science and Technology, GIST. They are winning international competition with various universities. So again, affirmation of that the talent in this country have all the potential, and they can take this country to become better. And I'm extremely grateful to Amir for giving me the opportunity of being here today. And one last word, request that, and you are Secretary of Education, KPK sir, please, if you have not started yet, if you have, then great job. You must have some community service element in the education. I've made 3 journeys to US in the last 3 or 4 months, 5 months, and had the pleasure of meeting at, since I work with MIT and also with Harvard now, so I got the opportunity of meeting the top-notch professors in management there. I said, do one thing. The foreign students that come here must go through community service program. There should be a 3-hour credit program for every student. You give them the best of education, they come back as good engineers, but please convert them into good human beings, because you have excellent programs over there, JCs, Rotary, Peace Corps, Feed the Poor, you name it. So every student who comes to the United States, if he's coming for an undergrad program, when he goes out, he must have done at least 30 hours of community service. Masters, 10 to 15 hours. Because we are good philanthropists, we every year give like billions of rupees into philanthropy, but it's about time we use our hands and skills to do that. So start a community service program for students, and that will change, because that will help them think of the problem that we have into opportunities.
Okay, excellent. Now another innovative solution provider. I'm gonna ask Dr. Raza, who is at Microsoft and teaching at University of Seattle, to talk about some of to provide to society.
Assalamu alaikum. My story is very simple. Started in 2010. I'm very much impressed with the Khan Academy and the waves Khan Academy is making in United States. Somebody mentioned Seattle, so I live in Seattle. Disclaimer. So I wanted to replicate the Khan Academy's experience for Pakistani education system. And most of my friends, I work for Microsoft. Most of my friends are working in Microsoft. So for 8 months, we kept on agreeing with each other that we have to do something like Khan Academy. And then I realized after 8 months, learning element, which I actually learned while being at Microsoft, ownership. If you need to get something done, owner for the task. So March 2011, I actually decided, let's take the ownership of this project and let's do things. Even funding will actually come, ideas will keep. So March 2011, we started, Tahir, he's sitting over here. We started making videos. We started with the FSC, Mathematics Book 1, and we started sending out some lectures exactly on Khan Academy style. Believe it or not, you can do all those things while sitting in Seattle. So I was actually able to find a company in Lahore, which actually selling digital pads, digital writing pads. So I actually ordered them, OCS them, right in the hostel where Tahir was actually staying, and he started making lectures, and we started putting them on YouTube at the time, and then later on Dailymotion. So 2 years onward, fast forward, but there were so many hiccups. Now we have one of the largest repository of videos in Urdu language for scientific subjects. 450 videos are already available on maktab.pk. I actually invite you to please go over there. We are still actually making those videos. We integrated a learning management system through which we will actually track the performance of the students. We are actually looking forward because I'm a teacher, have a PhD in computer engineering. I'm teaching computer science courses to the grad and undergrad students. So I'm very much interested in terms of what's going on. How can actually we change? I mean, and this is only in KP. The problem is huge. And for all of my friends who are watching online, expat Pakistanis, I know we have actually talked a lot many times on things need to be changed, things need to be changed. So my message to all of you who are watching online is change it ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we call this event the Webpreneur Academy Awards. We will give awards, but we'll be in retrospect. From tomorrow onwards, we'll get in touch because it was going to be too boring to just give out certificates. And actually, the main point of this event was to connect people and introduce people. Now, I'd like to introduce Mr. Rafiq, who's basically Director, CTO of Nadra, and basically just tell us about all the things that you're doing and the great solutions that you've got and the things that you wrote.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Amir. Thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words. I'm Salim Rafiq from Nadra. Actually, Nadra Technologies Limited, that's a subsidiary of Nadra, which provides commercial and various services to public and various organizations. Nadra is a very well kept secret. Most of you might know CNIC, the Citizens National ID Card, but we do a lot more in the sense that we have a number of projects that are going on globally, and also a number of programs that impact the citizens. We are all about enablement, engagement, and empowerment of citizens. Having an ID will give eventually a number of facilities and solutions to or facilities to the citizens. Nadra started about 11 years ago, and since then we've been listed in the top 50 ID-related companies in the world. We have received Excellence Award in 2011. We are CMMI certified, ISO 27001 certified. Nadra is often pushed into doing a number of initiatives in emergencies like the earthquake, the floods, and we've come up with solutions that in a number of days to be able to impact the individuals affected by the event. We came up with the ideas of SWAT operations. We came up with a solution in 3 days to give aid to the impact to the IDPs, the internally displaced persons. Similarly, we came up with the BISP program, which is also the poverty inclusion program, which we help a lot in terms of identifying the individuals who deserve to be included in the program. Nadra has a vast database of citizens. In 12 years, in 11 years, we have 95 million ID cards issued to the citizens, 434 million fingerprints, about 99 million facial images, and powerful. We can match 40 million fingerprint and facial matches in a second, and that's how we are able to provide services to the telcos, to the banks, to bring in transparency. We are all about bringing in transparency, accountability. Our recent achievement is the smart card. Smart card has a chip, and it will now allow many facilities to be put in the card for the citizens, and especially the poverty and those individuals. Services like pension payments, services like inclusion programs, services like and also smart card is now for everyone, from infant to pension. So we are there with you from the birth to pension. And there'll be facilities coming up along the way to address all the various stages. Negotiating student smart card, we're negotiating with the International Student Association and traveling abroad will get all the discounts and services facilitations that any student gets in the world. So that's about all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And now the chairperson for Center of Entrepreneurship, Mrs. Zareen Amr. She has an entrepreneurial family, as you'll find out, but basically just a few words.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all for honoring me to speak in this wonderful gathering as Chairperson Center for Entrepreneurship, which is a project of Pakistan Social Association working specifically on economic empowerment of women in Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, our immediate focus as CWE is the economic empowerment of our women living in rural areas through ICTs. For this purpose, we have launched a project called eVillage, which aims to take the power of ICTs to rural parts of Pakistan. The major economics, security, governance, and environmental challenges of our time cannot be solved without the participation of women at all levels of society. Empower effective and positive forces for improving conditions around the globe. Indeed, no country can prosper if half its people are left behind. Details of our eVillage program would be shared by our program coordinator, Fozia, who is taking care of this project in our office in Blue Area, Islamabad. I invite all entrepreneurs present here to join the Center of Women Entrepreneurship for achievement of our common objective. In the end, I would thank you all. Thanks. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. And so you're seeing there are women in our society doing a lot to help other women. And one of the points of this event was to give them some exposure to some time. Now our experts provider, and he's going to speak about what solutions they're providing to help people find jobs.
Assalamu alaikum. Rabbi zidni ilma. First of all, I thank you to Mr. Amr to scare me, telling me the figure that 98.7% people are thinking he is crazy. I landed last night and 100% people told me you are an idiot. But I decided that I have to serve the Pakistan. Because I came for my Baba Qaid-e-Azam, who said, think 100 times before you take any decision. But once a decision is taken, stand by it as a rock. And inshallah, I will rock and roll. And I established a company called Best Expert Providers in 2008. Within the last 5 years, we provided the job more than 10,000 pupils. And now everybody is talking about KPK, and Farzana Nazli said that she is lucky that she is from the same village of Jodhpur. And so inshallah together we will bring the change. After having many meetings with Imran Khan in London, we were thinking about, and you know, over here, about 98% people are talking a program in KPK empowering the women. And when I met CM last night, and they decided to put my program in 5 different districts. And they gave me 500 million rupees for every single district in KPK. And inshallah, within next 2 weeks, we are gonna set up a IT center in District Mansehra, District Kohat, District Swabi, District Mardan, and District Nowshera. My countdown is started. So it's there. I tell you that together, because I was listening to Amna, and we are working for KPK women, and we are giving you the figure within next 3 years. In every single district, we will provide the job to 50,000 matric pass women in KPK. And they will be working like Amna from their home and getting more than 40,000 rupees a month. Wama alayna illa al-balag. My time is over before I've been shot down.
Excellent. Okay, excellent. Now I'd like to introduce another enthusiastic student that's really taken on to an online world. It's Mohsen Naveed, who took my course out of Roots School, and now started, really he'll tell his story about how he started now earning online, and also just the typical journey that a 18-year-old takes to, you know, starting their working careers.
Good evening and assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohsen Naveed, and I'm from Roots College International. First of all, I would like to thank Allah Almighty for this success, and I would like to thank Webpreneur Academy and especially Amir Anzur for motivating me and encouraging me to this online work in this online world. And in my personal experience, working online was never easy, and you must have gained some experience first, and that motivation I got from Amir Anzur and Webpreneur Academy to get my to build my great portfolio so that clients can be inspired and hire me. So I took the Webpreneur 101 course, and I was get motivated from that. And yes, today I'm working as a client and a contractor both. And yes,
Well, the great thing is, look, I don't tell any magic formulas, but it teaches people that there's opportunities on the web. Now, the great thing was once he started, he made his first $70. He told me he went back home and he went to Syed Book Bank, and he spent 6,800 rupees, which is pretty much everything he earned in buying books on Dreamweaver and web development, etc., because he realized that actually to make the top tier income, he needed to upskill himself, right? So this is what we start realizing, that in order to get to that top tier of income, you need to be unique and have more unique skills. Now I'd like to, another guy who's leading in the education sector, Mr. Sajid Baloch, he saw that we're working with Mr. Jodha Tayaz, and he said, look, we want to do things as well. And what I found in working in government is that we have silos. You know, this is in our scope, and this is not in our scope, and this is in, you know, with the donors, we have similar things. But as an entrepreneur and people of the community, we shouldn't look at borders to say what's in scope and not scope, right? So would you like to come up and say a few words?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sajid Baloch. I'm the Director General for Basic Education. And since everybody knows Jodhat, he's my batchmate from Civil Services. Okay. What we do in the Basic Education Community Schools program that the Ministry of Education Islamabad runs, we run about 13,000 schools around the country including all parts of the country, and about 1,000 in FATA and more than 700 in Balochistan. And the number of students I have presently is about 600,000. What the government and the UN realized was that the formal schools cost too much. You need to buy land. If not, you need to make buildings, and all these expenses spend so much that ultimately there's very little left for the students themselves. So this model that we got from UNICEF essentially and BRAC in Bangladesh is we call the community in. They not only identify that they need to educate their children in their villages, but they need to donate a piece of room or land where we can teach those children. The government in turn provides them with books and learning material and the teacher's salary. So this is the cost-effective way of teaching children up till grade 5th, which helps Pakistan achieve the universal primary education targets. And as you all probably already know, 25 million children are out of school right now as we speak. Out of these, under the age of 10, we have 6.7 million children in the country who still need to go to school, especially in primary education. And this is one of the flagship programs the government plans to run. When I met Amir, I asked him, how can we use web to go forward? I am an engineer, but my engineering is rustic because I did like 2 years ago. So we need to know how to use modern technology in. One of the other hats that I wear is I'm the national chairman on the committee that is designing the ICT policy on education. I need all the help I can get. And this was again one of the areas that we thought we'll make use of. And of course, before we go for national consultations on the issue, we need to have a good working document and the policy that can work around. So I hope.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to, one of the things that the Secretary of Education was really keen on was helping raise funds for the schools, right? And Sarah around? And sorry, the person that was going to call up is actually out of the room. And basically, so what we were doing, one of the things why we started doing the event was to start getting the word out for that, right? One of the things is to build trust, because people don't trust the government around the world in the first instance. They don't trust that there's brainy people that can make change happen. But as you'll see, there's a lot of brains that are starting to work in this sector, and as a team making this stuff happen. So giving people airtime and awards and things over time will build trust, and hopefully then bring in funds to help the schools that the Secretary wanted to do as well. He will talk about, and then that is one of the things we'll do. I'm going to invite one of the principals that was quite keen to basically, ever since the Secretary told us to do focus groups with principals, he's been chasing me to say, help us get some computers, help us get these facilities. I'm going to have him come up and explain a little bit about his schools and how we can help facilities and things in his schools. He's a principal of, he's going to tell you the school name.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Arshad Javed and I'm serving as Principal Government High School, Jogiwada. I was inducted in as a principal in 2007, and since then I have been trying to do something new, to do something innovative in my school, so that the children that are coming to our school, who are basically very poor, and as we are talking about that we want to change the condition in which the students are living, we have to change the conditions, but the problem is if we are going to provide them the basic infrastructure, the basic facilities, the living facilities, they should have clean drinking water, they should have washroom facilities. The new government and the KPK, they have taken so many good steps for the welfare of the students, and the way I have been talking to Amir, the way he's been doing the things under the supervision of the Secretary Saab, so the things are great. But I'm going to tell him always whenever I meet him that we need to build the infrastructure. The government of KPK has taken the initiative of introducing computer subjects as a computers in our school. We lack computer labs in our school. We lack computer teachers in our school. We are talking about good things. So many people have talked about the money that we can earn through the computer or through the web for it. First of all, we should think about the ways and means that we can provide to the students in the government schools that they can learn computer, because they cannot learn computer only in books or only by reading books. They cannot understand the languages, the basic languages for computer, only in the books. They need computers. Secondly, sir, we look forward that things that are currently there in the schools, they should change. The teachers, they are willing for a change, but the problem is they need proper training. We not only have to educate our teachers, but we have to educate the students. The task is very difficult, the task is very tough. And we know the efforts you are making, they are really great efforts. But one thing I just want to say, that change will come, it will take some time. But the thing that we can do right now, that the prevailing situation can be improved. The sources that we have, we should improve them so that we can bring a positive change. Sir, we are with you. Whatever you are doing, we are with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to invite Ms. Saira Jabin, who's going to explain about all the systems and things that are happening and all the fundraising that's going to be coming up in the next few weeks and months, and how you can participate with Educate KP.
Assalamu alaikum. Saira here. I'm working with Mr. Anzur on the project Educate KP, which is basically designed for promotion of or boosting up basic level of elementary and secondary educations in KPK. And furthermost, we have designed few of the applications through which we'll be attracting the international donor agencies. Not only like internationally, we are attracting the clients and donors to support the education sector in KP region, particularly because they man-made disasters and natural disasters disrupted the education, basic and elementary education very badly, though the infrastructure is provided over there, but they are lacking in few of the key factors, like the basic facilitation of computers and getting them connected economically is lacking behind in that particular region. So our major focus of that Educate KP is to promote the basic education regarding computer literacy at basic education like elementary, secondary, higher secondary level. And further, for this cause, we'll be raising call for donation at local level as well as both at international level. So we are about to announce our we are announcing and inaugurating our call for fundraise from now today, and hopefully by next month we are going international. Mr. Anzur will visit the countries and he'll call for donation and fundraise. Thank you.
Thank you. I know it's a lot to hear, a lot of people as well, but I did want to give people exposure and talk about their projects. A few other people, and then I know Secretary's got to shoot off a little bit as well. What we will do is, people that I did invite, you will get your awards and we will do some videos of yourself that can basically help promote you, right? So we will promote you through our means, because it helps us in KP look good as well to say we're promoting this kind of technology. I'm going to have the Secretary of Education speak a few words and think about all the ideas and projects that are happening and what his thoughts are. He's been there 4 months now, and 3 months and 25 days, not that he's counting, and talk about all the changes and the projects and the programs that are happening that he's enjoying.
Thank you, Amir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I met Amir through a mutual friend of ours, which I'm sure half of Pakistan knows. His name is Salim Ranja, and he used to work in the PM Secretariat about a few months ago. And there was a very interesting book lying on his table. It was called Internetism, How to Make Money on the Internet or something like that. And I thought, yeah, gee, this slogan is really catchy. And I just was skimming through the book. And then he said that, you want to meet this guy? I said, sure, why not? And then he connected me to Amir, and Amir came, and then he talked about the Webpreneur Academy. And I was one of his first students in Pakistan. Yeah. And he said, no, you know, and I wanted to pay him. And he said, no, this is free for you. And I thought, if this guy gives this course free to me, I won't go through it. And, you know, so I took out $5,000. Yeah, $5,000 out of my pocket, paid it to him, and made sure that I go through the course, which I did. And did I turn it off? Okay, anyway, I think most of you can hear me anyway. So I went through this course, and what I found was the kind of amazing opportunities that, you know, an average man or a woman, for that matter, can leverage this you know, IT and technology to make money while sitting at home. And I was reminded of a book when I was going through the course, which is called The World is Flat. Metaphorically speaking, it's a book by Thomas Friedman. Can make not if the same amount of money as somebody living in maybe, you know, Silicon Valley. Maybe close. I'm sorry, Amna, given the skill set you have, you can make much more, I'm sure. So here was Amir, and what subsequently I found out that I used to play golf with his father about 15 years ago when I was assistant commissioner here in Islamabad about 15 years ago. And then, you know, somehow, you know, we moved on, and I got posted to KPK. And within the first month, there was a retreat in Burban, and I found Amir running around, you know, the lobby of PC with his family. And I said, what are you doing here? And he said he's in Murray with his parents and them, and he found out that I was posted in KPK as Secretary of Education. He said I wanted to do something in education. And I thought we have a great dearth and paucity of good people, as, you know, be the consultants or whatever, in KPK, so why don't you come and join us? And I made sure within the first month that you were on board along with one other guy, and ever since then he's been shooting us with, you know, these, at this point in time, not implementable in the given situation, what we have in the KPK. But yet, you know, it gives us something to work on, something to think about, maybe if not today, 6 months down the road, 18 months down the road, you know, we may make some of those things happen. And we started working together and came up with some, you know, very innovative ideas. I'm a big advocate of technology, and especially technology in education. I look at my own kids. My youngest son, who's 12 now, when he was 7 or 8 years old, he was an expert on sharks. And he was an expert on sharks. He became an expert just by watching YouTube videos. And he can name more than a dozen different kinds of sharks from hammerhead. Are you sure? Okay. So my point being that, you know, a 7 or 8 year old kid if he has access to a laptop or a tablet, and he has and this is something which has been tried and tested in a place like Balakot in Mansehra district, which myself, Ms. Farzana, and some of my friends like Ali and his brother belong to. And of course, by the way, Amir is also from Mansehra, and so are his parents. So there's a town called Balakot, and a friend of mine by the name of Asad Kareem is doing a project over there, which is called Tele-Taaleem. And the idea is where he gives out tablets to students in the public sector schools. These are Urdu medium schools where boys wear militia uniforms still. And he has experimented this model in those schools. And what he does is he goes around in this van, and hence the project is also called Ilm on Wheels. And what he does is that he gives out tablets to students, and then he monitors their progress over a few weeks or months. And he's found out the use of technology is like, or the familiarity and the comfort level is exponentially increased over the period of time. And I asked him, technology se, tablets se. And I thought maybe he would say it takes a month or a month and a half or 3 weeks or whatever. And he said, Jawdat, it takes just half an hour. And we are talking about students of public sector school in a remote little town of KBK, Urdu medium, Malaysia panne wale bache. And he said half an hour. And some of the brighter kids, he said, after 1 or 2 hours, they're playing Angry Birds on those tablets. And I watch my kids, playing Angry Birds most of the time. So the point being that, all we need to do is give our children access to modern gadgets, technology. And I'm not a fan of giving tablets or PCs to students for the sake of, just hardware. I'm a big fan of integrating technology with some content. Content enabled, if you just add curriculum on these tablets, give it to students, and then, have some software by which you can assess them as well. I've seen some demos, and, I hope when I'm there, I'm able to replicate some of these ideas in KP. Because technology, for somebody of my generation or people who are senior to me, is sometimes new technology is difficult for us to get familiar with or imbibe. But if you give a gadget to a 3, 4, or 5-year-old, I'm sure it won't take more than a few hours for him or her, for the child to get familiar with that. Having said that, somebody talked about in our school systems. I did mechanical engineering from Peshawar about 22 years ago, and remember my first class of Fortran. And my teacher came to the class and he started writing Fortran and formulas with a chalk on a blackboard. Now today, if you do that, I think it's criminal. And I've been to some of the schools in Peshawar. Abhi bhi wahan pe, there are labs where there are computers. Wohi mote wale, wo terminal, and there's dust lying on them, and there's no internet connection. Those to students, for somebody like me, is criminal. We are at the moment trying to start a project of about 215 labs. Salahuddin, 215, sir. So we are in some of the higher and higher secondary schools, we are starting a project of 215 labs. We are introducing virtualization technology in them, whereby a certain number of CPUs can feed more students. It's a greener technology, it's environmentally friendly, and it caters to the needs of more students and saves money in the long run as well. Other than that, there's a tablet program for about 50,000 students, and I made sure that the number is, we have about 3.9 to 4 million students in our public sector school system, so I made sure that if we are starting, we should start with a pilot of at least 1% students in the whole province, so hence the number was 40 to 50,000. And schools, 127,000 teachers, another 30, 40,000 class 4 employees. So if you add them all up, I as Secretary of Education have a greater strength in my department than the Corps Commander Bishar. I joke with my friends. It's not an easy job. Over the past, let's say 18-20 years, itni zyada system mein kharabi ho gayi hai that you'll be horrified to know that in the mid-90s, a person applying for the post of Naib Qasid was employed in the education department as a teacher because there was no post of Naib Qasid in that school. Instead, they gave him a job of a teacher. This is the sorry state of affair that we are confronted with at the moment. What we are trying to do at the moment is we are short by about 7,000-8,000 teachers. What I've done now is that in the future, whatever recruitment that we'll do, it has to be done through a system outside the department, through a third-party independent testing system, whereby pressure on the politicians, pressure on myself, pressure on people in the department won't come, and there would be a transparent system. We'll outsource it so that, we get, if not the best, closest to the best resource available in the province. We are trying to improve some, governance issues as well, delegating more powers to the principals so that, they don't run to Peshawar to sort out their problems. We are trying to make the transfer policy more transparent. On the average, 80 to 90% of the time of my minister and myself is wasted because of 20-30 MPAs visiting our offices daily to get teachers transferred in their own constituencies. We are coming up with this program of Adapt to School. If we can find 28,500 people around the world to fund just one school, I think that would go a long way. But I think we have to make, that is one thing we are very conscious of in KPK now. Monitoring has been an area of concern. It's not easy for 400 or 500 people in the department to monitor 28,500 schools each and every day. Baatein to sab karte the, but when it came to allocation of resources, that was always an issue. The education budget is now 85 billion rupees, and if you divide 3.9 million students by 85, the cost per student comes to 1,816 rupees per month per child. That's not a small amount of money for a poor province like KPK. The other good story which came out and which came out by default was that each year Government of Pakistan gives UNICEF a report as to the number of the net enrollment. Recall from the federal government one day that there was some issue with the numbers, that we were saying there are 61%, the 61% net enrollment ratio in KPK versus the federal government figure of 56 or 58%. And I said, okay, let's meet and see how it's being measured and what can be done. So they sent a team over to my office, and they sat with my team, and again, as usual, just they had their own figures and we had our own. I asked somebody that what is the benchmark? How is it measured? It transpired that the KPK was using Bureau of Statistics to measure the enrollment ratio, whereas all the three other provinces, Punjab, Sindh, and Balochistan, were using the NIPS data, the National Institute of Population Study data here. So I said, why this difference? Why you should have an apple-to-apple data for KPK? The net enrollment ratio has jumped from 61 to 81%. And by the way, today Punjab is at 70% and KPK at 81%. So all is not bad in the province of KPK. There have been some very good institutions in KPK. We all know schools like Aptabad Public School, Burn Hall, and some of the good schools in Peshawar that I went to. 9 out of 16 years of my education has been in KPK. So all is not bad, and traditionally the NWFP society has been more egalitarian compared to the other 3 provinces. And there has been always a premium on parents have always put a premium on education. At least that's my impression. And some of the best performing districts have been from the KPK, like Aptabad and Haripur. They've always been in the top 20% of this country. But there's a lot that needs to be done, and I think we need to stay the course, and we need good people like Amir to help us in the education department in KPK to give us new ideas, innovative ideas, and I invite all of you to come visit us, share some ideas with us. I personally am a very, very big advocate of technology and education. If you have some smart solutions which we can replicate, I'd be more than happy to do that. So with those words, I thank Amir and thank all of you for giving me this opportunity, for sharing my thoughts, and hope to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, but basically, look, what we're going to have, I know this is a lot to sit through, a lot of speeches and everything. In the timing, actually, there's another level of people that are actually the doers and make things happen. If you want to make things happen in government, you have to bring projects which are pretty much done. They have to set really busy people to actually then go through all the bureaucracy for you. It'll take a long time. Where guys like I can help is now I've spent the last 3 months in basically studying how bureaucracy works, right? And what we can do is provide a channel to the secretary, because he has, look, this was 150, 200 people that want to get access to him. He needs to just have a strategy and a vision and a direction. And I think what you heard is, right? Nice guy, approachable guy, has that common sense and has that understanding of where technology is and where your ideas will be. I have guys like Salahuddin who are in the government that do want to make things happen, but they're busy with tons of ideas and the day-to-day activities. I try to keep myself a little bit outside the system, have the relationships, build up a team, and then we can start facilitating these things to happen. Not to say that there's a certain level of trust that's established, and that's what you need in any business. Trust that says, okay, just make this stuff happen. We have some independence to make things happen. And if we can come up with a process as a team, we can facilitate it to Peshawar. Another couple of guys I would like to introduce you to, and is Iftikhar Darani, one of the most, I think, the respected guys in the department, also understands technology and media, how to bring media to help change in education happen. And he's working with the Secretary of Education to help promote cause of education through media. So I'm just gonna start doing some introductions so that you can just stand up so people see and we can follow up afterward. Another guy is Mr. Akhtar Qureshi, who's basically leading the incubation center in this NUST. If you haven't had an opportunity to check it out, check it out. And I have seen in incubation centers, that means startups, they help people start and grow their business. And one of the best around the world. And what you can learn a lot from this guy, use all the network, the contacts that he brings to the industry. And this is one of the key guys, the kingpins that we need. We have Sheriar, who basically made an iPhone app, which got, how many, 3.1 million? 3 million downloads. And he made $120,000. How much? He made $120,000 in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, a month. Sorry, a month through those downloads. Point being, normal guy to that is like you that's made it happen, right? Average student will make in a long time. Faisal Jalil, who started eStrats, a software house in 1999. 15 years it's been going. One of the, I think one of the brainiest guys that you'll meet in terms of software development and technology. They made the system that gathers all the data in schools. So it used to be done by hand. And now it's all automated thanks to eStrats. And the technologies in the schools, right? Anwar Ahmed, Sabil Honey. अब देखें, आपको ये चीज़ समझनी होगी कि अगर आपने पैसे बनाने हैं ऑनलाइन और ग्लोबली, कि आपने एक ब्रांड बनानी होगी. जिस तरह शहद एक चीज़ है ना, वो कमोडिटी होती है, वो मतलब है कम कीमत पे बिकती है. मगर अगर आप शहद की एक ब्रांड बना देना, आप प्रीमियम पे बेच सकते हैं. अब इन लोगों ने इनने 2 ब्रांड्स बनाई हैं, सबील हनी और गोल्डी हनी. और कितने का एक छोटा पैकेज है? $55, $30, 3,000 रुपए का पैकेज. और वो बट ये क्या करते हैं, ये क्वालिटी इंश्योर करते हैं और ये सप्लायर को ढूंढते हैं. और इनने क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व की कि उसकी पैकेजिंग किस तरह बनाएं ताकि ये ग्लोबली बिके. आप किधर किधर बिकते हैं? Far East, Middle East, Europe, right? Brunei के वो होते हैं. But basically देखें, इनके पास जो स्किल है वो है कि किस तरह चीज़ को इंटरनेशनली मार्केट करें. आप लोग जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप लोकल बिजनेसमैन के साथ कनेक्ट होके you can market it internationally, right? So thank you for that. And we started working, he started learning in 2 years ago. Osama, isne just actually say basically in the education website portal, ताकि आप एक ही जगह जाके apply कर सकते हैं, right? So all your application needs, you can do it in one place rather than having to go to different universities. So students in Pakistan, they were stuck. Where should I apply? What course is good, etc. Whereas in US, UK, they had places like UCAS. And these guys have made one portal that can bring all of that together, right? And I apologize because not everyone will get a time to speak, but I will make it up to you by giving you some camera time where you guys can promote it. So one of my team will follow up with you so you can do a little thing so we can get you promotion. I'll get you guys an award in hindsight. And I wanted to bring in some people to meet the stars, etc. And one of the first events, this is the first event we did. We only had, for various reasons, 3 days to put it together, but look at how many people turned up to it, right? Dr. Zishan, he has an amazing, he has a PhD, one PhD and 4 masters, 5 masters, a PhD from MIT and super masters and all this. But the fact is, he has, a solution which can help us make our schools and society safer. Because what he does is he can look at algorithms and look at where past events, blasts have happened, and start to predict where things will happen next. So if you are, brainy, computer science, you can basically start putting patterns that can help make things happen. I know that people need to move on, and the thing is, ye jo awards hue the, this gave people that didn't have chance to speak oftentimes, right? Jo unko exposure nahi milti hai. Ab hamara ye ek idea tha to bring these types of awards at a school level, jo logon ko media type exposure de sakegi. The people that didn't have a chance to speak up, we will follow up in the next meeting and do some online Google Hangout sections jo aapko exposure de sakega for your ideas. And so thank you for coming out for the event. And I want to basically thank some of our sponsors, the British Council, UNICEF, Yazdani, Fahim, Omar Khalid. These guys are producers at big channels and running media events. And StepNext, who's providing the biometric solutions, virtual teacher. आपको ऐसा इन चीज़ों के products की information. This is the first time we did these awards in Pakistan. और फिर Tariq Jangir, the lawyer of lawyers, I wanted to also introduce. But we will follow up with you guys on email. Please put your details down. And if you would like a copy of this book, I will, the one that Jodhat Ayaz read and now has led simple things, but it leads me into to a situation where you can see the kind of impact that I can start having on society, right? Simple thing, but make whatever it is happen, right? So if you do like a copy of it, do come down and I'll sign you a copy. Okay? Thank you for coming out. Thank you. Now feel free to mingle, because actually business does not happen without meeting. And there is tea downstairs. Sorry. And I did forget the Salman Bashir. Kidhar hai? Me. We will give them exposure. I will follow up properly in the next week.